Hey, hey. Hi, guys. Welcome back. Okay, let's go ahead and jump on in. We're going to see um, anything that pops up in our storyline, but also we'll keep our eyes on any signs and symbols that may be visible here. We are starting with time for a nap, by the book. Okay. Has somebody been grinding away, doing everything they could? Also, somebody could be remembering, like, God, I tried. I tried so hard to make something work. We have laughter, though, happiness, joy. If this is somebody who is exhausted, they have a lot of great memories. If they want to rest a little, it's they did their best. We have the epiphany, self-reflections, answered questions, untapped talents. Kind of a nice way to start. This so far could be a message um, coming more from a feminine's realm here, but let's take a look. We got the Six of Swords. It is in the reverse. Interesting, because everything else has felt so good, but then we've got this conflict. We have Justice sideways. Okay, I'm going to say that we have two different storylines happening right now. We have a feminine over here, possibly dark-haired, who is very happy today. By the way, she may have naturally curly hair. She used to straighten it. Maybe now she lets it be more naturally curly. Um, I feel like maybe that's part of her epiphany, is like, you know what, I'm all right. I like me who I am. And if I want to straighten my hair, fine, but I don't have to. And honestly, I'm joyful and I'm bubbly, and I actually am realizing I'm in love with my life. But the first two cards, by the book and time for a nap, I'm feeling like this is somebody drained. Sure enough, we got somebody who can't let go of something, somebody who's stuck on memories with all the elephants here, and somebody who feels like, even though I tried so hard to do everything right, somehow it all still went horribly wrong. How did it all go so wrong? Who are you? Are you a Libra energy? What do you feel like went so wrong? That's different than this feminine. So we're rocking two different stories. Perspective in the reverse, devil upright. What went so wrong is they may be saying, I wanted something so badly that I jumped in when I really shouldn't have. I didn't pause and consider, I just went after it. Did you go after her? Is that what this was? And you shouldn't have gone after her at the time? Maybe it wasn't okay. I mean, there was something toxic about this. Eight of Cups, Ace of Swords. So they needed to cut some other connection out of their life first. I think that maybe it was unwittingly, but I think that they monkey branched their way into a second relationship before being done with the first. I feel like this person, for whatever reason, I mean, now, of course, hindsight is 2020, but they're like, I met this wonderful, laughing, amazing person, and I should have done things by the book. See, I thought that they were saying I did everything by the book and it didn't work out. Instead, they're reflecting on what they didn't follow. No wonder they're exhausted from this, because it's so, painstakingly obvious that they should have handled everything differently in the past. They messed this up royally. They kind of did an injustice, and they can't get over that. It's embarrassing. It's something that shouldn't have happened this way. They themselves are like, it was super toxic of me. I knew better, but I really wanted her. So even though I didn't cut the ties with somebody else first, and I know now that I really should have, or I should have been really honest with her and said, listen, I'm in the process of separating from a previous partner. It's like I should have just told her the truth. That would have been okay. But now I look like a liar. I look like somebody who hid stuff. I look like I'm toxic because I didn't do things by the book, and that mattered. I should have told her exactly what my situation was. I'm not really single yet. I'm working on it, but let me tell you the truth of my situation. That's what they did not do. They should have been 100% truthful. And gosh, with the World card here, they're like, everything would have been so different. Everything would have been different. all I had to be was truthful. I should have just said that one very big fact, and the whole energy would have changed. Instead, now I will forever be known as the toxic person. Okay, they're coming down pretty hard on themselves right now. For their past mistake, although that is a pretty big one. But can we go back over to her for a second and say, why do we have this feminine who's like in this? I mean, not like why shouldn't she be happy? I'm glad she's happy, but she seems to be so very happy. Page of Wands. The Tower, the Six of Swords. Okay, honestly, this looks like she is gloating over this idea that sucks to be him. Glad he's missing me. Glad it collapsed. Unless this is not the person that he was in love with. What if this is the person he hadn't fully cut ties with? And frankly, we do have two possibly different feminines. Maybe one is laughing over this, saying, I'm the one he hadn't cut ties with, but what's hilarious is he just blew it with his new, his new love interest, because she discovered that I was kind of selling the picture. And how funny is that he blew it? It's already over before it could get started, and she's running for the hills. And that's great. That's it almost feels like that, like we have somebody who's happy to see that everything collapsed for him. I'm feeling like this is the person he was separating from. Okay, hang on. Let's look at the Epiphany card then. Six of Pentacles. Okay, so we actually have three people in this story. I did not catch that at first. I thought because they both had dark hair, I was saying they were the same person. They aren't. That's probably, I should have paid more attention to the hairstyle, which I did, but I thought it was just her, feeling amazing and, like just really comfortable in her own skin. It's not. This is somebody, and I'm not going to say she's being nasty or rude. She is getting a kick out of the fact that, you blew it with your new person because you didn't tell him that you and I weren't done. Well, that's kind of hilarious, isn't it? You had that big old ego, and it got you into trouble. Whatever this is, I definitely feel like their ex, it thinks is kind of like, she's kind of getting pleasure out of seeing the fact that they blew it with this new person that they wanted. And maybe it is because it's like, we weren't done. We still had things to wrap up. So you really should have handled this by the book. You should have handled it properly. Like maybe she's got a leg to stand on with, her like expectations. Although it doesn't say that. Actually, it just says that she's laughing about this and is making her very happy to think that he's bummed out and that he blew it with the new person he would want. So she might be kind of edgy. She might be kind of, like that. That's kind of mean-spirited humor, right? But hey, whatever. We're not here to judge. We're just here to get the story. With the Epiphany, so this other feminine, our third character, who I'm guessing this is probably the one that he tried monkey branching with, and that he says, why wasn't I just honest with her? Why didn't I tell her that I wasn't entirely done? I was technically still involved with somebody, but we were separating things. Why didn't I just tell her the truth from the very, very gate, and everything would have been so different? I'm guessing this is her, the person who they tried to give to, the person that they said they were free to fully give to. And did she have an epiphany about that? What was her epiphany about? Because it says self-reflections, answered questions, untapped talents. Yeah, she figured out the truth. Ace of Swords. She started to notice he's not free to just come see me anytime he wants. He's not free to maybe answer the phone anytime he wants. How come I hear from him during specific times? There must be somebody else around. I can see. I mean, birds of prey have amazing eyesight. He's tangled up, granted only in toilet paper. This is not something that should really be holding this bird back. But there's that Ace of Swords. Same Ace of Swords that he had over here where he said, why didn't I just tell her the truth in the beginning? She had to have the epiphany and say, he says he wants to give to me, but I'm pretty sure he's given to somebody else, because why are his wings tied? And tied only with toilet paper, meaning he really could have gotten himself out of this a lot sooner. He could have immediately, if he presented himself to her immediately like, I'm totally single, and he wasn't, he still could have severed this connection, like immediately after he said that. There was, this kind of indicates it's not a strong bond, but it still is a bond, and he wasn't honest with me. The truth is, he's tangled up elsewhere. However loosely tangled it may be, he is not free and single like he said he was. So he's keeping secrets. And now we have the moon. So she's like, yeah, he was keeping secrets. We've been getting a lot of like revelations in stories in the last, couple hours. I feel like that I've done some stories. I keep getting like a, why wasn't I honest, or, ashamed that I didn't just present myself as I was. That keeps coming up in like collective messages. Just so you know, it happened over on Tarot Dog on my other channel. That video will come out probably right around the same time as this. I'll try to link that video so that it'll come up on the screen at the end of this video. But I also feel like that came out like a double life or a secret for today's topic for the 13th as well. We've been getting some of this lately. That Hanged Man, she's saying, I know he's still basically delaying things with me. I can feel it, and there's my proof, and there's my epiphany. If somebody is totally free and clear, then I should be able to call them anytime, day or night. If somebody's free and clear, then I shouldn't sense that there's something they're keeping from me. If somebody's free and clear, they wouldn't be trying to bog things down, slow things down with me. I even wonder if they couldn't always like come and see her. If you're really single, you can pretty much, pop over whenever, or have her pop over whenever. I'm thinking that there were problems with seeing each other, or if they had to travel a little bit to see each other. And I think that's where her epiphany popped in and was like, you know what? They're not single. Emperor. She decided they were probably married and hiding that truth. And that could have been it. I mean, we saw that they really hadn't cut a cord yet. And maybe that was it. I'm like, I'm separated, but I'm actually still married. Maybe they didn't say that to her. Maybe they said that they were single. There's nothing complicated. Maybe they even said that. Oh, nothing's complicated. And it's like, that's very complicated. In fact, it feels like it did turn out to be an out and out lie, because they feel like it was a huge injustice that they did. Even though it's sideways, and it's like, it was wrong. I should never have done this. Now I can't get over this, because it's hard to handle that when it's like somebody has a right to look at me as a liar, because I was, even though this is one of those things where it's like there is a little bit of gray area here, but not enough to have not been just totally transparent and honest. Okay, so now it turns out we have all three stories laid out before us, right? And I guess my only question here is, since we have this feminine having an epiphany, like I figured out that they weren't single. Where does she go from here? Wheel of Fortune, her life, her awareness, her evaluation of this, her coming to this conclusion. She says, I'm going to go ahead, and it's time that I move forward. That it's time I let this go. All right. So she's basically, she's not going to be lifting a finger or trying to get back to them or trying to reconnect with them. Okay, what about for the ex, the one that had the laughter, the one that thinks it's pretty funny that he blew it with this new individual before he even got it started? Okay, she's over here feeling amazing. She's preening. She's feeling fantastic. 6 of Wands, she feels like she came out the winner, because it's like, hey, we might be separating, we're over, but it gives me great joy to know that you blew it with somebody else also. It might even be like validating for her if she, look, this is an arrogant card, though. I have to say that this is not a standard 6 of Wands. This is somebody who is actually like preening and like in their moment of arrogance and triumph. So she's quite happy. And we're not going to say she's a big meanie, because maybe she felt that's your just desserts, Okay, now what about for him? And please know that when I say him, her, and this could have always been same-sex couple. They could all three be feminines. They could all three be males. They could have been, 2 males, 1 woman, 2 women, 1 male. It doesn't matter. I don't read for genders. On his part, we have a 9 of Pentacles, which is usually somebody who's like, they are like renewing their personal strength and abundance, but they're made out of chocolate on this, like literally like a chocolate Easter bunny that would melt. Three of Pentacles. I feel like as much as this is bothering him, like the mistakes that he's made, I do feel like he's saying, he's trying to argue like, but I didn't intend to be a terrible liar. I know how it looks. I know I should have done it by the book. I know I screwed up, but I am really single now, and I really still want to talk to her, and I want to explain this. You know, I shouldn't have handled it that way. I know I wasn't completely honest, but I have to. They're coming in with this Two of Wands. You notice this person's like very dejected, and they're very like shameful, and they're coming up out of the ocean, and they're coming back to this queen who's got this big old chunk missing out of her. And we have all of this checkerboard, like, you know, the moves that he could make. God, how do I approach her? I have to approach her though. But I also feel like one look from her and it might melt me like chocolate in the sun. But I'm hoping to get her to stand in the shade with me. You see the giant shade hat. Hopefully I can get her to stand in the shade with me, like basically cool off. Don't be too mad. If she's too mad, it could melt me. But I am single now, really and truly. And I do want to come in and I do want to ask her if we could start fresh. But then it's going to be really embarrassing because I have to wait for her to tell me what she wants to do. And she might not have an answer. She might say, I'll talk to you, but I don't know if I trust you. It would take a while. You'll be on like probation. This is embarrassing. And it's also, it's hard. It's hard because this is what he's expecting. I don't know though. Let me go back to her for just a minute. The woman who had the epiphany. Eight of Pentacles. Remember, she has the Wheel of Fortune. She's saying, I'm moving on and I'm all right. And it's the next chapter of my life. I kind of figured out what was staring me in the face. But with this Eight of Pentacles, it's weird because it's like she's already aware. The big obstacle here with Ganesh is that this person needed to grow up before they could ever be in my life. I'm not somebody who wouldn't have told the truth. Maybe they failed to tell me the truth. That's an issue with maturity. They should have just said it the way it was. She's not vilifying them. She's just saying a big stumbling block or obstacle is, I don't know if they're mature enough to like really, truly be scrupulously honest and handle things with full clarity. But unless they are, I move on. I'm not looking back. It does look like they are coming in genuinely single at this point. Look, maybe these two will get another shot, but I don't know. It kind of, there is gray area in this, but it's very much up to what characters want to do. All right, I'm going to leave this here. Thank you for giving it a thumbs up and subscribing. Bye.